Blue Book, The Art of Laziness, Chapter 5 Summary. Chapter 5 of The Art of Laziness focuses on one of the biggest obstacles to productivity: procrastination. Many people think procrastination is caused by laziness, but the author explains that procrastination often happens for deeper reasons such as fear, confusion, lack of motivation, or feeling overwhelmed. In this chapter, the author teaches readers how to understand procrastination and how to overcome it by using smart laziness. Instead of forcing yourself to work harder, the idea is to make work easier, simpler, and more manageable. Below is a detailed explanation of the main ideas presented in Chapter 5. 1. Understanding procrastination. The chapter begins by explaining what procrastination really means. Procrastination is the habit of delaying tasks that should be done now. Instead of doing the task, people often scroll social media, watch videos, do unimportant work, delay the task until the last moment. Many people blame laziness for this behavior. However, the author explains that procrastination usually happens because the task feels too difficult, too boring, too big, too stressful. When the brain sees a task as unpleasant, it naturally tries to avoid it. 2. Why the brain avoids difficult tasks. The author explains that the human brain prefers comfort and easy rewards. When faced with a challenging task, the brain may experience fear of failure, fear of making mistakes, lack of confidence, uncertainty about how to begin. Because of these feelings, the brain chooses activities that give quick pleasure instead of long-term benefits. For example, writing a report may feel difficult. Watching videos feels easy and enjoyable, so the brain chooses the easier activity. The chapter emphasizes that procrastination is a natural psychological reaction, not simply a sign of weakness. 3. The problem with large tasks. One major reason people procrastinate is that many tasks appear too large or complicated. For example, writing a book, preparing a major presentation, learning a new skill, starting a business project. When people see the entire task at once, it feels overwhelming. As a result, they avoid starting. The author explains that lazy thinkers solve this problem by breaking big tasks into smaller pieces. Instead of thinking, "cross mark, I must finish this entire project," they think, "heavy check mark, I will complete the first small step." Small tasks feel easier to start, which reduces procrastination. 4. The Just Start Principle. Chapter 5 introduces an important rule called the Just Start Principle. The idea is simple. The hardest part of any task is starting it. Once a person begins working, the brain gradually becomes focused and engaged. For example, if you tell yourself to work for only 5 minutes, it becomes easier to start. After those 5 minutes, many people continue working because the initial resistance disappears. The author explains that starting small is one of the most powerful ways to defeat procrastination. 5. The lazy way to work. The chapter encourages readers to adopt a lazy strategy for work. A lazy person prefers to complete tasks quickly and efficiently so they can relax afterward. Because of this mindset, lazy thinkers often look for shortcuts, simplify processes, avoid unnecessary work, focus only on important results. Instead of wasting time on perfection or unnecessary details, they finish the essential part of the task first. This approach helps people complete work faster and avoid delays. 6. Creating simple work habits. Another idea discussed in this chapter is building simple habits. Habits reduce the mental effort required to start tasks. For example, if someone always writes or studies at the same time every day, The brain becomes accustomed to that routine. Eventually, the task becomes automatic. The author suggests creating daily habits such as writing for 30 minutes every morning, studying at a fixed time, exercising regularly. Once these habits form, procrastination becomes much less likely. This idea may be useful for you because you mentioned earlier that you prefer doing exercises in the morning. Morning routines often help build strong habits. 7. Removing distractions. The chapter also explains that distractions are a major cause of procrastination. Modern life includes many distractions such as smartphones, social media, messages and notifications, television and entertainment. These distractions constantly pull attention away from important work. The author recommends creating a focused environment when working. This may include turning off phone notifications, working in a quiet space, limiting internet usage during work hours. By reducing distractions, it becomes easier to concentrate and complete tasks. 8. Rewarding yourself. Another strategy suggested in Chapter 5 is rewarding yourself after completing tasks. Rewards motivate the brain and make work feel more enjoyable. For example, after finishing a task, you may allow yourself to watch a favorite show, eat something you enjoy, take a relaxing break, spend time with friends. This method trains the brain to associate work with positive outcomes. Over time, tasks feel less unpleasant and procrastination decreases. 9. The role of motivation. The author explains that motivation does not always appear automatically. Many people wait until they feel motivated before starting work. However, motivation often appears after action, not before. When you begin working, progress creates satisfaction and motivation increases. Therefore, the author advises backhand index pointing, right start working even when motivation is low. Once progress begins, motivation usually follows. 10. Accepting imperfection. Perfectionism is another cause of procrastination. Some people delay tasks because they want everything to be perfect. They fear making mistakes or producing imperfect work. The author suggests accepting imperfect progress instead of waiting for perfection. It is better to complete a task imperfectly than to delay it indefinitely. Once the task is finished, it can always be improved later. 11. Creating momentum. The chapter also explains the importance of momentum. Momentum means building continuous progress. When people complete small tasks regularly, they develop a sense of accomplishment. This positive feeling encourages them to continue working. Over time, small actions lead to large achievements. For example, writing 1 page per day may seem small, but after a year it